This is your friend Han here. It is great to see you here tonight. And tonight I'm very excited because I can ask the question of how do you do curation correctly so that Google doesn't think your curation item is actually duplicate content, which punishes you, right? So how do you do curation the right way so your site get rank high, you get instant traffic, and you become authority of your marketplace? So I happen to find this product and it's going to launching tomorrow. It's called Curation Traffic Blueprint. If you look over there, it's by Lisa Ellen, and she's a great person to learn curation from. And if you remember her previous products about video syndication, which is another excellent product as well. So in this interview, she's going to kind of, walk to us what is the wrong way to do curation you actually can get hurt, and what is the right way to do curations so you actually gain authority on your blogs and Google loves you and send you some Google love, get you page rank, get you authority, get a social interaction going on. So she's going to teach you all that exciting stuff. So get a pen and paper ready. In this course, she's also going to teach you how to get your curation content indexed the same day you post it, because most of the time curation content probably takes a long time to get Google to be found, and she has figured out a very unique way to do that. So you have to get this course to find out what it is. But for now, let's kind of learn from the curation expert Lisa here, and see what you can do today to improve on your curation content. And so Google loves you, give you rankings, and give you authorities, and give you lots organic free traffic, right? All right, this is your friend Han, and enjoying the interview. Until next time, keep smiling. Cheers.
Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your friend Han again. It is great to see you here this afternoon. And this time I'm very excited to introduce to you to another excellent warrior. Her name is Lisa. She's come here to do the interview to teach us about curations. And I think one thing we all need as internet marketers is traffic. And she's going to specifically teach us how to use curation to generate emitting traffic. She knows some ninja secrets in here, and so she's going to go over how to do all that in the interview, and at the end of the interview, she's going to introduce an excellent product of hers, and of course about curation, so actually she's going to be the better person to talk about that. So before we get into all that, let's learn who Lisa is, how she got started with the internet marketing, but most importantly, what exactly she do to achieve a level of success she has today. So Lisa, would you kind of take over the mic and share us your unique internet marketing story?
Yeah, sure. I would love to. Actually, I have been an e-commerce merchant for about 10 years. I have had 2 different stores, and they've had varying levels of success. One of them I was actually making about $26,000 a month from that particular store. Mm-hmm. And then I started a second one, and everything was good for a while, and the second product was a weight loss product. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, the government and Google decided that they didn't like that product anymore, and they kicked me out of AdWords with both stores, even the other one that had nothing to do with that. They just kicked me out. So I had to find other ways to find traffic.
I like how you say government and you say Google.
Well, they've got all these little backdoor things. The government is kind of sneaky that way. If they can't get you in the courts, they'll get you another way. So,
yeah.
So that's kind of what they did. I mean, they even went after the payment processors and everything. So,
wow.
You pretty much, you don't see that product anymore on the internet because they got rid of it. Huh? It worked too well was the problem.
Wow.
But yeah, so then after that, I started looking around for some ways to get extra traffic. So then I started learning about SEO, which, believe it or not, I managed to do all of that without knowing a thing about SEO.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, no, I was not an SEO baby. I just, in e-commerce, minding my own business, putting up stores and just that kind of stuff. And so then I met Peter and got into his coaching, and he Peter Garrity. And so then he and I and another one of his students, Samuel Herrick, got together and started working on some stuff because I was starting to play with Pinterest at that time.
Okay.
And so we put together the Pinterest Traffic Blueprint because, we were able to figure out ways to really get a lot of traffic that way. And so that was pretty fun. But yeah, that's how I kind of got into it.
Cool, cool. So, what was that one thing like kept you going? Like most people, if Google kicked them out, they'd probably say, "Oh, screw this! I'm quitting internet." What was that one thing kept you going?
You know, it took me. I'm in my 40s now. It took me to my 30s really to escape from the 9 to 5 jobs. I had all kinds of jobs. I mean, I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I do a little bit of everything, and for a while I was a programmer, but it was so stressful. If I would have stayed there, I really would have died, and I'm just not going back to that. And so, you kind of pick yourself up and dust yourself off and go, okay, well, what am I going to do next?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and was this something like it specifically drive you? I guess the drive is not having a job, right?
Yeah, I really don't like being on a schedule. I
Okay.
really just detest schedules. I detest commuting. And I really don't like somebody else telling me how my life is going to be, I guess. I think a lot of people can kind of sympathize with that. You don't really want to be under somebody's thumb all the time.
Uh-huh.
And so that's pretty much my motivation. Oh, and I really like to learn, so.
Okay. So are you like 100% full-time internet marketing now?
Yeah,
That's what-
yeah, I do not have an outside job. I'm still running one of my e-commerce stores. The other one, the product that they didn't like is pretty much gone, but but yeah, I do make my full-time living that way.
Awesome, awesome. That's kind of story I love to hear. And so let's talk about curation a little bit here. What is the biggest mistakes when it comes to curation that you see people do, or maybe you made a mistake yourself? Can you kind of share some of the stuff that people should avoid when it comes to curate content from other sites?
Well, there's a number of small mistakes and big ones. One of the big ones that I've seen people mention before is that they're really unwilling to link to anybody else. They're afraid that if they curate from somebody else's blog and then provide a link, that all their traffic is going to go straight through there.
Okay.
And so, but that's really kind of a big mistake because you actually get a lot more rankings from Google and a lot more authority because you rank to other people. And I actually had one of the content writers from a blog that I linked to about 2 days ago come back and leave me some really nice comments. She was really pleased that I had curated her article. And so, that makes you look really good. It starts to help you to network with other people and you really become an authority.
Okay. What do you think about? Obviously, I guess there's always a fight. Like, what do you think about? What is the difference between duplicate content and curated content that works?
Well, duplicate content is where you pretty much scrape the whole thing and you just paste it on your site without adding any kind of value or commentary. It's kind of like another version of spam when you do that, when you take somebody's article and you just paste it everywhere in completely irrelevant places. And curation is really the opposite of spam. It's where you're taking chaos and you're making order and sense out of it. And because of that, you've added a lot of value to that information. You've put all the information somebody wants about a topic in one specific place. And so it becomes much more valuable.
So, what is the right way then to do the curation correctly that you actually get rankings and getting traffic from Google? Or maybe just a couple of general tips here.
Well, the right way to do it really is to make sure that you're on a fairly narrowly focused topic so that when people come to your site, they find everything that they want and they go, oh man, look at this site. This has everything I want. This is awesome. I'm going to bookmark this. I'm going to tell all my friends. I'm going to come back because, it's kind of like if you go somewhere and you find a cache of $50 bills sitting under a seat, you're going to check that seat again because you found everything there. It was a gold mine. And so that's really kind of what you have to do with a site to get a lot of traffic and get a lot of people coming back.
So just about how long does it take a content to get noticed by Google once it's curated on your site?
It really depends on whether you do any publicity on it, and by publicity I don't mean hitting it with a million Fiverr backlinks. There are some really simple, quick things that you can do inside of about half an hour the day that the post is published that will do about three things. It will get it indexed by Google really quickly. It will get other people to find that content really quickly, and it also will make it so that Google understands the relevance of that content to the keywords that you're going after for it, and you manage to borrow the authority of other sites just by kind of sneaking your content in with theirs, and they don't even have to know anything about it. It's really actually pretty cool.
Oh wow! So, why do you think Google like curation content so much?
Well, the biggest thing that I can think of is that, have you thought about what Google's model is? They are a content curator. You go to Google, there are little snippets of everybody's website there. You go to Google Images, they have taken their images. So, I mean, they understand curation at its basis because they make billions of dollars from curating everybody else's content. And so they really like it when a human being will go and organize, because their bots have to understand a lot, and they go out and they try and make sense of the world. And so when a human being goes and filters through the content for them ahead of time, you've made order out of that corner of the universe for them, and they know exactly what your site is about and exactly what value it is. And so they really understand it because of their own business model.
So is it okay to have a lot of on a post or on a page? Is it okay to have a lot of link out to the curation content? Let's say you have you're curating, for sake of argument, from 10 different places. Do you always give out backlink to all those 10 different places?
Yes, you absolutely should. You absolutely should. And there's actually more benefits to that to you as far as the relevance of your content. When Google goes and indexes your content, when they see links going out from your site, they will not only rank you for keywords that are directly on your site, but they will consider how the content relates to the places that you link to. So you could be ranking for things that you didn't even have those words in your post. And I've seen that happen with several of my posts where I started ranking for things where I know I didn't use those words in my post, and yet I'm ranking for them, getting visitors for them.
Oh, wow. So is a certain type of content better than other? Like is video better than images, image better than text, or what is it? Is it just, or it doesn't really matter?
Well, you can rank any kind of content, really. I have some posts that are older curated content from last year where I was just kind of, hadn't really gotten my feet yet. And those posts that were just straight text do rank, but I think they're a lot less interesting for visitors if you're, to actually have people want to stick around on your blog and get them into reading the posts. Having images and videos is really a lot more important.
Okay, so does Google like more newer curation content versus the aged curation content?
Well, if you do it correctly, they seem to... Let me just back up a little bit.
Okay.
If you do it correctly, what happens first is that you start to get, they don't know anything about you when you first start curating. And so it takes a little while to get their attention to where they know that there is going to be new content on your site like clockwork every single day.
Oh, okay.
But you will see the older ones before they get started. The older ones will start to rank over a longer period. And then when they know that you're doing this every day, those posts will be up on their site. You'll be getting rankings for them within just a few hours. And so,
wow.
Yeah, they like both.
They like both. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
They like both.
Okay. So, I have all the questions I need to ask you here about curations. Unless you want to add something to it that people need to know about curation.
Well, I think really it's just it's something that people don't really think about, the fact that you're like CNN, and that's really how all the news agencies get their authority. If you really want to be an authority in your niche and have the whole world running to your site, that's what you need to do. You need to be the one who knows what's going on. And when you're curating, you are the one who knows what's going on. You're the news agency.
Okay, okay, great. So obviously the reason you need to curate content is get the authority, get the traffic. Is there any other reasons for curation?
Well,
Get the ranking, obviously.
yeah, the ranking. Oh, loyalty. People actually really like curated content. I actually, when I had started this experiment and was in a couple of weeks and had really done a lot of remodeling on the blog to kind of make it so that the curated content was more attractive. It was more like a magazine. And I sent out an email to all my subscribers and told them, you know, if you haven't been to our blog for a while, stop in and see where we've got this great new magazine layout. We've got tons of new articles, and I think you're really going to like it. And I got 4 or 5 people who actually wrote me back and said that they checked in, and it was one of the few blogs that they were interested in reading now.
Oh, great.
And so, yeah, I mean, people really love it.
So you built a long-term relationship with
Right.
your readers. Is there a certain position better than others, like put on the top, in the middle, down the bottom, or it doesn't really matter?
What do you mean, position?
Like, is it better to put that little snippet at the very beginning of your article, or is it better to put in the middle or at the very end, or whatever natural flow it is?
Oh, you're asking about the format of the curated posts. Well, the way I usually do it is that I have a little bit of a commentary at the beginning that introduces it, and has something to kind of get people interested in the topic. It might be history of the topic, or it might be something like maybe a holiday that's coming up, or something like that. And then you can go in and add the snippets for each one and maybe introduce each one just a little bit. It's up to you, really. But the way I usually do it is there's a little tiny introduction to each one. And then I have like kind of a closing call to action where I encourage people to do something about what they just learned, like to go make a project, or to go, wish their mom happy Mother's Day, but there's always a little call to action. So you kind of engage people a little bit by interspersing your comments in between.
Now, do you have any tips on how to get the a curated content go viral?
To go viral? Yeah, my favorite site, and I'm probably going to regret telling you this, but my favorite site is Pinterest if you do it right.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a site where you can get a couple hundred just to a brand new post before Google even knows it's there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Awesome. So let's talk about your product a little bit here. Let's kind of tell them the name of the product and what time it's going to launch and who's going to be benefit for. What's inside the front end and the OTO, all that great stuff.
Okay, great.
Price point too, yeah.
And price point. Okay, well, the product is called Curation Traffic Blueprint, and it's a case study and step-by-step instructions to duplicate what I did with my blog over the last 60 days. And the OTO is the #1 curation software. And I've actually tested several of these myself because I've been kind of, as you might have figured out, I kind of dabbled in curation a little bit last year, and I never really did as much with it. And part of the reason I never did as much with it is because I really didn't like the software that I was using. I had 2 different softwares. Neither one of them were very usable. And so this one I actually like. And so the front end is going to be $7. The OTO is $49 for a lifetime license to the software. Okay. Normally he sells this for about $127. Okay. So, but I twisted his arm a little bit.
Okay.
And as far as who it will benefit, I would say anybody who wants to get a lot more traffic and get it really fast, anybody who wants to rank for a lot more keywords, anybody who really wants to get a lot of attention and authority in their niche will really benefit. If you have a blog and a website that you really need a lot more traffic to, then this is something that you can do really easy. It doesn't take very long with the steps that I show you, and you get results really fast. As you can see, I got mine, was getting really good results, 250-260% traffic increase in 30 days, so some really good results.
Wow, that's some amazing results you got there.
Yeah, I was rather pleased, surprised and pleased.
I guess if you do it right, and you really can leveraging off what Google really love here. So
Yeah.
and so I think I got pretty much everything I need to ask you here. Oh, by
Okay.
the way, how long are you gonna keep this offer open?
It's 5 days.
5 days.
Yeah.
Is it on diamond sale or is it pretty much?
Yeah, it's on a dime sale, but it's a little bit of a slow dime sale. The top of the price bracket is 9,
Okay. Cool.
so we're kind of keeping it affordable for everybody.
Oh, that's good. Great. That's cool. Okay, so yeah, and I think I have all the questions I need to ask you here, Lisa. And do you have any final words before we leave here today?
Yeah, consistency. Consistency. Once you start curating, do not stop. Do not pass go. Don't just let your blog sit there for another week before you post another post. If you're consistent, you will get much better results than if you just kind of do it every once in a while, kind of halfway.
Is it because Google like come back to you all the time if you do all the time?
That's part of it. It's also partly that your visitors, the actual traffic, gets used to and a little bit addicted to your content being there every day. There's something new for them to read, something exciting, to put a new idea in their head every day. And if you start missing it, then people will forget about you and forget to come back to your site.
Oh, okay. That's a great point. So for those who are still with us today and right now, and make sure you kind of look out for my email tomorrow, and I will have my full review on it and offer you awesome bonuses again. And Lisa, thank you so much for taking your
Hey,
time.
thank you.
And I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
再见。